What is going on, everybody? We are here today with Mr. Nick Block. Nick, what is going on, man?
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you here today. I want to talk today about just what you've been able to do with your agency. We met back in March, so I guess it's been just about 3 months, 4 months or so, and what you guys have done has been pretty phenomenal. So I thought it would be very valuable for everybody if we could just get kind of your perspective on what you've done and how you've been able to have the results that you've had. So I guess if it's cool, let's just start at the top. Tell us a little bit about who you are, your business, your agency, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of doing like two things, but primarily I would say deal origination. So we're doing kind of franchise development, selling businesses, and then we're also buying businesses. I would say that's kind of the two primary things that we're doing.
Okay. And the primary vehicle that you do that through is
Cold email.
good spamming, right? That's what we call it around here. Yeah, no, but it's good. Okay, cool. So cold email is the primary vehicle, but even in the way that you described it right then, you didn't say, "Hey, what we do is cold email," which obviously is very, very intentional, right? Which has led to a lot of the stuff you've been able to do. So, which we'll obviously get into. But let's go back. We met in March. You came to
Mhm.
one of our workshops, and I think that you actually joined like on the second day of the workshop, like it was
Yep.
already going. So take me back then. Why did you come to our workshop? Like, what were you hoping to get out of it?
So my business partner and I were kind of going back and forth. We were in the same situation, the same trap that you always talk about, where it's like, all right, 3K a month, 5K a month. At that point, we were juggling, I don't even know, like 15 to 20 clients thereabouts. And it was, ah, I mean, you know how it goes. Like it was not, it was
Yeah.
not. And so we kind of had the discussion. We were like, hey, we want to go up market. We didn't really know what that meant. Like in our eyes, it was, all right, sweet. We're just gonna do the same exact thing, but it costs 7 grand a month now.
Yeah.
Did not work out so well. But I got hit with one of your ads. And so I
Nice.
went through join, and you later told me I joined on like the one link that was just supposed to be closed. And so that's how
Oh yeah.
I ended up a day late.
Yeah. Yeah. We do usually close those. I think that, we have a bunch of different links. I think Chris missed one. So shout
Yeah.
out to Chris for getting that link.
But yeah, so saw that, hopped in, got into the workshop, and that's where it really all started.
Nice. So you were in that like 3K a month client trap, working with tons of clients, not super happy about the way it was going. Obviously, you guys were doing decent money, right? I mean, you're doing whatever, 40, 50 grand a month. But even at that route, at that amount of cash, you're already starting to see some of the stuff stack up that you weren't super thrilled about, obviously. And so I guess back then, take me back to, back before you joined, like what were you selling? Like what was the offer?
Do you want 30 appointments on your calendar? Like
Yeah. For
that
how
was
much?
3K. It's like 30 appointments a month for 3K. That was,
Yeah.
yeah,
How did you come up with that? Why is that what you were selling?
because that's what everybody else was selling. Like, that's literally it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what everybody else was selling. So, what have you changed about your offer? Like, specifically, what did you change in what you're selling now?
So I think really the biggest piece was positioning, but really in just like who we're selling to. So taking our ICP, kind of our target customers, and figuring out what is the outcome of the problem that we solve for them, and then making that our offer.
Yeah.
So like with franchisors for franchise development, we're selling discovery day ready prospects. So in layman's terms, very high qualified meetings.
Yeah.
Just shifted the language to kind of be super hyper specific to the people that we're
Mm.
wanting to sell to, and then built the whole lead generation, the whole sales process around.
Yeah, that language that you use there is obviously very specific, that
Yeah.
that I imagine only appeals to that one particular type of buyer. So, have you found that when you use that type of language, they look at you differently than saying, "Hey, we're just gonna get appointments on your calendar?"
Yeah, 100%. And I think it honestly goes beyond just like franchisors because we see the same thing talking to, like family offices or private equity. They have their own lingo for the
Mm,
same things. And it does a lot when you're having the conversation to where they feel like you're in the circle, you're in the know.
yeah.
They just have
Hmm.
that inherent trust in what you're saying.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are selling more or less the same type of thing. It's qualified appointments through the vehicle of cold email, but you've shifted who you sell it to and the language that you use around that, now focused around the specific outcome that they want, as well as using language that's specific to their industry that only like insiders would know. And that's been the shift in positioning or offer that's allowed you to charge. I mean, I know you close a deal for 30 grand a month. So like that's been able to like is it really that simple?
In Yes and no. I was actually thinking
Okay.
about this the other day. Objectively, yes. But a lot of it goes into the conviction that you build around your service, the problem you're solving,
Mm,
and your positioning, and being able to hop up on a call and confidently say, we can get you X, Y, and Z in language they understand for a price tag that, I mean, I am now, but previously was not used to saying.
yeah.
And that's the biggest shift is just understanding the problem and creating the conviction that you just can do exactly what you said.
Yeah, when that's a good point, conviction, right? Because I hear a lot of people go, "I wanna charge higher prices," and maybe they even try charging higher prices, and then they try it one time, they get smacked because somebody says no because what they put together for an offer doesn't make any sense, and then
Right.
they go back to doing what they were doing, right? So, can you speak a little bit on conviction and what maybe allowed you to have the conviction that you can charge these higher prices and or deliver these higher end outcomes? Like, what did that for you?
Two pieces. One, actually understanding your market and your buyer and understanding where you as a business owner and the service you provide have the best fit and then only doing those things. So like you went over it in the workshop and I mean you continue to go over it, but learning to say no to money does a
Mm,
lot for your conviction. Like sitting on a sales call, honestly just the act of sitting on a sales call and being like, "Hey, not really for me. I don't think y'all are a good fit," and DQing someone on a call, like that within itself, it does so much for your conviction because you're just very, very narrowed in on what you solve, how you solve it, when you solve it, so on and so forth.
hmm. So your ability and willingness to say no to the wrong deals makes you feel more convicted about the right deals. Am I
Yeah,
understanding that correctly?
yeah.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, I bet that was difficult to say no to money at first.
Think probably the first 1 or 2 times, but then after that, you really just have to change the timeline that you think on,
What do
where
you mean?
saying no to clients that wouldn't be a good fit or you wouldn't want to take on in all reality end up in you having fewer dollars in your bank account because something's going to go wrong, you're going to be stressed out, you're not going to want to show out for them, and so it's really just kind of pushing aside the quick money and optimizing for the
Hmm.
long term stable very successful clients.
Yeah. Why is that important to you to optimize for something that works long term and is stable? And that might sound like a stupid question, but it's very I mean it's very prevalent in online business stuff. It's like, hey, close as many deals as you can, get the clients through, worry about it later. Why is optimizing and thinking long term important for you?
Well, so there's 2 pieces. One, just because of the industries that we're operating in, that's kinda how it goes, super relationship based. The inherent sales cycles of what we deal with are 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 months, and so you're forced to. But I think the other piece is really just peace of mind. Like, just the attitude towards a long-term outcome is so much better because you're bought in, your client's bought in. There's a whole lot less stress because everybody's trying to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I totally agree with you. I'm a as obviously as you know, I'm a big believer in going for not more clients, but going for better clients. And better doesn't just mean they pay you more. That's part of it, but also, that they think long term as well. They're the right fit for what you do because that's how you build a stable agency, which ultimately if the goal is to make more money for yourself, that's what you got to do. So that's what's changed about your offer and your positioning. Well, and your ICP, what's changed about like your sales process or your lead generation? I know again, cold email guy, you're a spammer, right? But what's what obviously said jokingly, kind of. What's changed about your lead gen and your sales process?
I mean, lead gen, nothing. It's just our messaging and who we're getting in front of. But we dog food our own service
Yeah.
delivery. So cold email lead gen, we've been doing it for ourselves and for clients forever. But bringing in a setter was a big one. Having somebody essentially field all of the inbound leads that we generate and then call, qualify, book. And then really, I would say the biggest shift was having a middle funnel, for lack of better terms. I mean, for the longest time, we were booking cold traffic onto our calendar, like from the inbox onto our calendar. It didn't go very well, as you can imagine. And so having CRM build out, having pre-call docs, having the cadences for like calling a prospect if they no show, texting them through
Mhm.
iMessage, things like that.
So working the leads as opposed to just like spamming and praying.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of relationship building before a call. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You always talk about this pre-call doc. It seems like that's been very helpful for you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I get a little burst of joy every time I get an email from somebody canceling and they're like, "Hey, we went through it. It's not in the budget." And I'm like, "Sweet, saved myself 45 minutes."
Yeah. It's so interesting, man. It's such a different perspective than I hear from a lot of people where it's like, you just told me you're excited when someone cancels a call.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
usually the other way around. It's usually people are pissed when someone cancels a call.
yeah, it's really just zeroing in on only working with who you wanna work with. I mean,
Mm.
like I said, I actually don't know if I told you this. We had somebody who we, like, basically closed. And it was weird. We, like, had him in the Slack channel, and he kept asking questions about our agreement, going back and forth, like, a week of just going back and forth and asking questions, and I was like, "I don't wanna service you anymore." This was a 10K a month client,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he kept, like, asking I was like, "I'm sketched out by you." And so we got rid of him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it feels nice to be able to do that, right? To have, again, just going back to the conviction that you have or that you spoke about where it's like, hey, dude, because a lot of people say, dude, he's gonna pay me 10K a month. I'm gonna do whatever he says. But it's like, you've obviously closed a lot of deals at high price points. And I guess we could get into maybe what some of those are, but it's very cool to see you be able to go, hey man, you're not the right fit. We'll find somebody else who will pay us more than that
Yeah,
and serve them.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. So can you talk a little bit more specifically because we gotta have it for the call, right? Can you talk a little bit more specifically about the jump in price points, what you were selling at and what you're selling at now?
Yeah, so I mean, we 3 to 10x our price, like straight up. I mean, we were charging 3K a month. I think we had 1 or 2 guys at 5K a month. Did our whole offer switch. We actually switched offers twice, and I think for the sake of the video, people will enjoy this. My first ECA sales call, I closed for
Oh, yeah,
20K.
you did.
Yeah, my first one, my first one. So, yeah, I mean, we went from 3K a month to 10K a month, and then we shifted to what we're doing now with franchise development and kind of our whole deal origination thing, where we're now charging 15K a month for a minimum of 90 days, and then, like, that 30K a month guy, it was a partnership, but yeah.
Yeah, very cool, man. Very, very cool. It's funny to think that one client now makes up basically all of the revenue that you were previously doing before with 15 clients.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny how things funny how things change. Can you talk a little bit about the delivery side? Like, I know that you're still using the same vehicle, cold email. Have you found the delivery to be massively different than what you're doing before?
As far as actual execution, not a whole lot, but the one thing that having large margins lets you do is, one, you can bake in a ton of redundancy. You can bake in all of the things you need to have a good customer experience,
Mm,
account managers, in our case, backup infrastructure and testing. Like, we have the margin to go spend money on crazy tests, testing sequencers and domain types and warm up, like this, that, and the other,
yeah.
where previously, like, we just couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah. So having higher prices has allowed you to test more stuff, try new things
Yep.
to, I guess, ultimately get better results for your clients. Is that why, or why are you investing into those things?
Just really higher quality delivery. I mean, like I said, execution is more or less the same, but always being on top of the ball as far as being proactive with problems that may arise, account manager just being on top of communicating with clients. We integrated setters into our offer, so like actually providing
Mm,
having a setter. Obviously, we need to pay a setter,
yeah.
and so having that as a piece of our service delivery is awesome.
Very cool, man. Has anything surprised you about this process? Anything maybe you thought was going to happen that didn't think was going to happen that did about going up market, charging more? Anything been surprising?
Honestly, mm, I mean, yes and no. I think the answer most people give is the clients are so much easier to deal with, and which is true. It's very true. I already kind of knew that coming into it,
Okay.
but a lot of it has to do just with the overall attitude towards you as a quote unquote vendor, not so much in the ease of dealing with a client, but more so in that their business doesn't rely on you. And granted, this
Mm,
doesn't apply to everybody, but we're selling revenue generation essentially. And so being able to pull from the thousands of other campaigns that our clients have run, being able to take things that have already worked for them and use that as a stepping stone for our own service delivery has been massive.
yeah. You said that you already knew that they were gonna be easier to work with. How did you know that?
Just talking to people.
Yeah, what'd they say? I guess I'm curious to hear because I hear a lot of the opposite. I hear a lot of people say they think it's gonna be way more difficult to work with people who pay them more.
I mean, really just talking to people who already have agencies. There's a couple guys I know who do like very high end like CRM implementation. And so, I mean, slinging 150, 300,000, $500,000 contracts to go build out
Nice.
Salesforce and HubSpot. And
Very
so,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, Salesforce and HubSpot. Not for me, man. Not for me. I like the prices, but not those. Okay. Well, cool, man. I guess we'll wrap up with a couple of questions here. If there's anybody who's on the fence about like there's somebody who's selling 3K, 4K a month clients, 2K, whatever, and they're on the fence about going all in on it and making the jump to go after higher paying clients, what would your advice to them be? What would you say?
Sign up for enterprise client acquisition, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I guess more so speaking agency owner to agency owner, not trying to sell them on working with us. What would you say?
I mean, really just adding a layer of sophistication to what you're selling. So, putting together a pitch deck, being meaningful in your funnel, keeping up with leads, just buttoning things up, for lack of better terms, because like you said, and you say all the time, you're not really delivering anything fundamentally that's super different
Mm,
for a 3K a month guy and a 10K a month guy. But what you are delivering is the experience and the confidence the client has in you
Yeah.
that you can give them the
Makes
outcome.
sense, man. It's not fundamentally what you're selling that's different, it's how you're selling it.
Yeah,
Nice, very cool. If there is anybody who's on the fence though about joining our workshops or joining our program, what would you tell them?
do it. I mean, it was total snap judgment, almost I would say an impulse purchase to go hop in. And I remember I think it was, well, it had to have been day 2 or day 3. You were talking about, like, the constant stress, and I think you said something about, like, waking up and the first thing that you see on your phone is, like, people stressing you out all up in the Slack, and that, like, instantly hit home with me. I think probably that morning, I had woken up to, like, 5 different Slack from people being like, "Where's this? Where's that?" I'm like, "I
Yeah.
do it."
Yeah, it all comes from experience, man. We've all had those days where you answer Slack messages before you go to bed, and then you wake up and you got a few more that you got to answer, and you start your day going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling this today, but I appreciate the kind words, man. Any final thing you want to share as we wrap up here?
Just do it. You're still charging 3K a month. You just got to push for it. I mean, you really do. I think that, I talked about conviction. I didn't have that conviction when I first started out. Obviously, ECA helped me out a ton as far as what I needed to build out, how I needed to say the things that I needed to say, so on and so forth. But you're never going to feel comfortable in that environment. You're never going to feel comfortable being able to kind of sit down and say, like, hey, yeah, I can charge 10K a month. I can charge 30K a month. If you don't put yourself in the position of charging 10K a month and then delivering and then building that confidence.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, man. You got to start somewhere, right? You'll never be ready until you get ready.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, cool. Thanks again, man. I appreciate the conversation was very helpful. I'm sure people will find it very valuable. If you are someone watching this, you want to join a workshop, you want to learn more about our program that Nick is in, go ahead, hit the link in the description. We'll see you there. All right, y'all. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.